Hello!
Hi, everyone.
Hi. What's up, Moxie fam? What's up, ClubMakse? What's up, everybody? We are so excited that you are here. And I'm just excited because it's not just us tonight. Y'all have seen us here and there, but we have some extra special guests joining us tonight, and I can't wait to share them with you. But tonight is all about how saying yes changes everything. And we're going to be sharing real stories from our ClubMakse family and their real change along the process. So I can't wait for you to meet them. um, I'm like, serious, I'm like ready to like bring them on. But before I bring them on, is there anything that you would like to say beforehand?
Me? Yes. Well, of course. So tonight, Season of Yes, we're going to be talking about Season of Yes. And I want to give you guys just a little bit of the reason why we started Season of Yes. So this will be our third year, which is really wild. And Club Moxie's been around now for almost 5 years. Is that correct? Is that right? No, it just had its 4 year. It just had its 4 year. Yeah. Okay. Math. But when we decided to do Season of Yes, it was kind of on the tail end of, COVID and just that craziness of a couple years. And for myself, I know I was kind of trying to find a way to get back into my goals. We were approaching mid-year, and I was just feeling really stuck. And I had gotten into kind of way too much comfort of being home. I'm an introvert. I love being home. Saying no is like my new favorite word. I felt like the pandemic gave me so much permission to kind of even go deeper into that. And I was feeling really stagnant with putting myself back out there. And I heard of this concept of saying yes, like, kind of jumping back into life one yes at a time. And I thought, okay, why don't we make this a program? The summer's always busy for everybody. We tend to do kind of personal development, kind of deeper topics throughout the rest of the year in Club Moxie. And we thought this is a great way to play with our goals, to jump back into our life in ways that we maybe kind of let go in the busyness of life, or the way that our life kind of got shut down and restarted again, after the pandemic. And now I feel like it just continues to evolve and change and grow. And this year, our theme is nostalgia. And it felt so right to the team and I when we were talking about coming up with what we were going to focus on this year. And there's one phrase that keeps coming into my head. I'm traveling a lot right now, and people are asking, oh, what do you do for a living? And I talk about Club Moxie, and, it's hard to explain to someone who isn't in the planner space or doesn't already have visibility into what we do. So, explaining to someone what we do. And I was talking about this program, and I said, it's an opportunity for us to play with our lives and to remember who we were before the world told us who we're supposed to be. And I just felt like in my heart, like that is so alive for me this year. And going back and remembering the parts of us that were free with joy, that found, every bit of magic in the margins of our life, and created white space and said no to the things that felt like pressure and things that we didn't want to do. We chased joy with abandon. And anyway, so one of the things, and just a little caveat, and I'll shut up because it's not about me tonight. We really want to hear their stories. But one of the biggest challenges that I've found in working with people, but also in our community around setting goals and getting outside of our comfort zone, is oftentimes we overthink, we overplan, we try to make it perfect. And when you are given a challenge that's like, say yes to connection this week, or say yes to yourself, or self-care, we're not asking you to change your life. We're just asking you to just turn around and look at your life and say yes in one moment in ways that you may not normally do. And it gives you an opportunity to play. And oftentimes it pulls us out of that part of our brain that says, I can't do that. I don't have time. I'm tired, blah, 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 blah. All the mind trash that we have. And Season of Yes is an opportunity to kind of just play in our lives and our goals and our process. And we do it together. We make it fun. And this year is about remembering who we were before the world told us who we're supposed to be. So anyway, without further ado, I say, let's bring them on, because I want to hear how Yes has changed their lives. And I'm really excited to hear their stories.
Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely. So many yeses to that. I'm so excited. So tonight you are going to be joined by again our amazing founder and CEO Sierra Friend. We have our director of people and culture, Courtney. I'm our digital media director. And y'all, I can't wait. We have our Club Moxie mentor, Andrea Moen. We have our clubby, Ebony Cobb. And we have another clubby up in the house, Mackenzie Bright, y'all. Can you just light up the comments? Give me a round of applause. All the things. I'm so excited that y'all all said yes to joining us. It's one thing for us to talk about season of yes and saying yes, but it's another thing to actually hear from it from our community who went through the process with us. So yes, OMG legends, absolutely. Yes. Oh, we
Yeah.
got our clubbies in the house tonight. I love that. I love that. All right, y'all. Before we get started, I just want you to introduce yourself. We're going to start with Mackenzie. Just say your name, where you're from, and how long you've been a part of Club Moxie. And you know what? For the people, just let us know what your Moxie setup looks like. What's your Moxie setup? Okay, so name, we know your name, but where you're from, how long you've been a part of Club Moxie, and what's your Moxie life setup look like?
All right. So I'm Mackenzie Bright. I am from the St. Louis metro area, and I've been in Club Moxie since the start. So the OG 2021. And my Moxie Life setup is a flagship in vertical. And the one thing special about it is that I end up using 2 per year because I use so many stickers. You can't stop me. And so I have January through June in one and July through December in the other.
Oh, I love that. Okay, Ebony, you're up next.
Hello, I am Ebony Cobb, and I am from Wisconsin. I live in the Milwaukee area, and I have been a part of Club Moxie, I think, for 2 years. So I think it was 2023 that I joined Club Moxie, and my Moxie setup, I could not decide between digital and paper, so I just got both of them. So I have a flagship paper Moxie planner, and then I also have the digital weekly.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm in and out of both of them.
I love it. I love the way you set up your digital, by the way, from a fan. What about you, Andrea?
Hey guys, I'm so excited to be here. Ebony, we're not too far apart from each other. I'm over in Minneapolis, Minnesota, so pretty close, just neighbors. I have been a part of Club Moxie since 2021. It was the best money that I ever spent when I first joined. I was just so excited. And let's see, which plan? I have every single planner Moxie Life has. But the ones that I use routinely are the horizontal and the vertical flagships. So I use the vertical for my daytime job, just to kind of keep track of everything. I use the washi with the time. And so it's kind of like my hourly planner. And then I've never done this before, but this year I'm using all of the reflections pages to write down my wins at work. So at the end of the year, when I have to remember all the good things I did, I don't have to like, yes, they're just all right there. So that has been really awesome. And I even use the actions pages. So my weekly actions are in there. And, I try to use them all, even though it's hard to kind of figure out how to use some of them with my work, but I love it. And then my, memory keeping or list making, I use my personal planner for everything, whatever I need that week. I decided I'm not going to pin myself down to using it one certain way. I'm not going to should myself. No, no, no. I just, whatever I need that week. And if it needs to be blank, it needs to be blank too. So
Yes, y'all, if y'all ever have like questions about how to use your planner, hit up Andrea. She got
these
you.
goals.
Such goals, such goals. You know what, Sierra, what planner are you using this year? What's your Moxie setup looking like?
Oh, where is it? I went back to my paper horizontal. Although I want to jump back into digital because I love it so much, but I just was really bad at keeping it charged. So awful. Like, what is that? So I have it in my folio. So those two are like a powerhouse. Love it.
Oh, I love it. Okay, your flagship
What about
info. Yes.
And you tell us, we already know, but like, you know.
I'm digital for sure, through and through. But I switched from using the flagship to the daily this month. Which is, yeah, I just felt like for me, so I'm using digital, but I needed a daily page because I was just like, I just need a fresh start each day. I need to take it day by day. So I was like, maybe this is time for me to switch to the daily. So that is what I'm using, our digital daily. What
That's
about
good.
you, Courtney?
Gosh, I am also team 2 planners. I use one for like everything, and then I have my one for work. They're both flagship, they're both horizontal, but I always like think about going back to, or no, wait, they're not horizontal, they're vertical. What am I
I'm
saying?
like, wait, I said
What am
horizontal. Did you see
I?
my face? My
I
face
just
was
sent you pictures. I don't know. Maybe that's a sign. Maybe I'm gonna say yes to horizontal. Not yet. Not yet.
not yet. I love that. All right, so my first question for today, and I want y'all, if you're watching this and you're joining us live, if you're team replay, jump in the comments. We want to hear from you as well. But I just want to know, does saying yes come easy for you? Has saying yes always been something that was easy for you? Is it something you had to learn? Um, is it something you're still growing through? But does saying yes come easy for you? Andrea, how about you kick us off?
Not now. I mean, I've had seasons in my life, obviously. Well, when I was a teenager and in my 20s, saying yes to myself was super easy because that was pretty much the only thing I really thought about. And then I got into my 30s and I met my husband, and it was kind of back and forth. It was like we, me, kind of in between. And then when I had kids, it was like, I just let myself go. I never said yes to myself. It was all about them. And I just, I thought that as a mom, it had to be all about them. And it was just never about me anymore. So the nice thing is, since I've been in ClubMakse and found Moxie Life, I'm able to say yes to myself, and knowing that it's good for my whole family and for my friends when I do say yes to myself, because then I can show up differently and better for them. And it's kind of like, that butterfly effect. So like when I'm saying yes and I'm happy, that just kind of like goes around to everybody else.
Oh, you're muted. Did we
No,
lose
you
you,
did.
Dee? Did your sound die?
Are you able to unmute yourself for us, Mackenzie?
I am, yeah. Okay. Okay, so does saying yes come easy to me? I would say yes and no. More often, yes. So I don't have kids. I'm newly married, although we've been in a relationship for a long time. And I'm kind of like up to try anything minor once. So like I'm very much an introvert. I'm a homebody, and so I'm like, yeah, I'll come try and say yes to just about anything if it means that like I know when I'm going to come back to my house and have my introvert recharge time. And so it's depends on the situation. I think related to the Moxie Life challenges and the season of yes, I found those to be pretty easy to say yes to, because I'm like, okay, I can form this into whatever I want depending on budget or time or whatever. You can make it very, very flexible, and so for those I've found it to be very easy and rewarding, obviously, to say yes.
Okay. I would have to agree with it being situational for me, whether or not saying yes is easy. I think for me personally, it's very difficult for me to say yes when I am operating out of fear. Or if it's something that is going to take me out of my comfort zone, then it's usually really difficult for me to say yes. And so what I've tried to do is try to be more intentional about being brave. And that's why that's my word of the year is brave. Because that's kind of how I want to show up and how I want to be perceived in the spaces that I'm in, is to be brave. And so if it's something that I'm comfortable with, if it's something that I'm confident that I can do well, I have no problem saying yes. But if it's something I fear, if it's something new, if it makes me uncomfortable, then it's harder for me to say yes. And I have to be extremely intentional about saying yes.
Oh, I love that. What about Sierra? Has saying yes been easy for you?
No, especially when it came to saying yes to myself. I would always put everybody else's needs above my own. And so I was always kind of like, I got the leftovers, and that that's not sustainable. But it's real. It's real. Especially as, a caregiver or a mother, it's a lot. But that's why Season of Yes has been so good, because it's really pushed me outside of what I would typically say yes to. I really good at saying no. I'm really good at saying no now. And it was harder to say yes. So that's why I love these challenges, because it forces me to say yes. It forces me to say yes. And I have a greater time.
I love that.
Life's better. Yeah.
I love
What
that.
about you, Dave?
Yes, I feel like I feel like I had to say yes to saying no. I had to say yes to no. But saying yes to, I was always like, yes, 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 yes. And then probably when COVID hit is really when I was like, no, no, no. I started saying no. So the one thing that I appreciate about Season of Yes was that it helped me, it made it bite-sized for me to say yes to things that I had not been saying yes to, like connection, like an event, like doing something creative, saying yes to vitality. And so there were so many different ways to say yes in ways that I never thought about, or bite-sized ways. I think sometimes when I thought about saying yes, it was always these big things. And so I felt like that was like one of the biggest things that I got from Season of Yes.
Yeah.
I'm curious about you, Courtney.
Oh, I'm a yes person, but like in the way that was unhelpful for a very long time. And now I have been so changed by Season of Yes that anytime I have to say yes to things I don't really want to do, I get so angry. And so I feel like it has maybe a little bit of a pendulum swung really far, but not in a bad way. But in a way, I'm trying now to like figure out, how do I say yes to me even in the things I don't want to do. So that's my next project. But yeah, I've been all over the place.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so before I want to dive in a little bit, I would love if y'all can each share maybe your biggest highlight from previous seasons of Yes. What was something that you said yes to that you just remember? Like, what was your favorite yes from Season of Yes? Ebony, you start us off.
Sure, it's one that I shared in club. And it was the one about me just getting on the highway. So I'm definitely like I am afraid of the highway. So it's just been a thing that I've been afraid to drive on the highway ever since I first got my driver's license. And so I would take less traveled highways sometimes, and I even start to be afraid of taking the less driven highways when I started to not drive as much when my job moved closer to where I live. And so I think it may have been the yes, say yes to doing something afraid, or saying yes to being something along the lines of that. I don't quite remember, but I was I was getting ready to get on the highway, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to get on, and I gave myself permission to get off at the first exit if I got too nervous. I was like, you can get off at the first exit. You're just gonna get on, and so then I got on, and then while I was on, and I passed the exit, and I'm like, oh, I was like, I'll just go a little longer, and then I'll just go a little longer. And then I ended up getting to my destination and getting to that correct exit. And it was just this moment for me. And it just felt so good to just kind of press through like that anxiety that comes whenever I get on the highway. And so as I was reflecting on it and posting about it in club, I think it was Courtney who had commented on it and was just talking about how that is just kind of like the Moxie journey all in rolled in one incident, and just giving yourself that permission to be able to set those smaller goals. And Sierra talks about like the momentum and just gaining that momentum just to get to, that final exit and that final destination. It was a very good analogy for, I guess, for life, and for the importance of being able to kind of take those smaller steps and gain that momentum and gain that confidence to just kind of keep going. But that was probably my favorite yes during the Season of Yes was that one, because I think that was very it helped me know that I was internalizing what I was learning in club, actually applying that to the smaller things in my life. And then it's easier to apply to the big things when you're applying them to the smaller things. So it was a win.
Yes. Yes, it
That's
was. I love
amazing.
that, Ebony.
That's
What about
amazing.
you, Andrea?
Well, my favorite yes is being out in nature, but my most rewarding yes was going back to school. So I'll talk about the nature just because, like, I just loved that part. So over on the right is me and my paddleboard. I'd never been paddleboarding, and the first season of Yes, 2023, right after that was my birthday, and I went and I bought a paddleboard. Couldn't use it for many, many months because I'm in Minnesota, but I went paddleboarding that next summer and fell in love with it. And now my whole family loves paddleboarding. We go every single summer, multiple times on the weekends. But I think the best part about that, yes, is that when I'm in nature, I'm not thinking about all of the things I have to do. I'm not thinking about, all the dishes that are in the sink, or my bed needs to get made, or, all that stuff, that you think about in your mind. I'm just looking at all the stuff around me. And it was really hard for me the first couple times, but I tried to not have my phone in my hand. I put it in my pocket, and I said, let's even go further. Let's not even listen to music or a podcast. So I tried to just go with nothing on. And that was really hard for me because I don't know how to settle down. I always feel like I have to be in motion. So that was really great because I was seeing like little flowers on the side of the road that I'd never seen before, or I'd see like a little bunny hopping by, and it just felt very like serene. But the best part was always when I would wake up in the morning. I don't love waking up early, like 5 a.m. But in the summertime, if I wake up at like 4:50 or 5 a.m. and go for a walk, I can catch the sunrise. And so I don't know if you guys remember all my sunrise pictures from the last 2 seasons of Yes. But like, if I can catch a good sunrise, it just makes it just magical for me. And that's what season of Yes is for me. It doesn't have to be something crazy. It doesn't have to be something that you have to spend a ton of money on, or that you have to do for a lot of time. Just getting that feeling in your heart. Like, that's what season of Yes is for me.
I love that.
I love your stories, guys.
All right. My favorite was in 2023, and it was Yes to Exploring. So my favorite thing to do when I travel to a new city is to find the small locally owned shops and boutiques and restaurants and, things like that can help me like really see and understand a city, and, kind of support local artists and, people that make things and whatnot. And kind of speaking to what Sierra said, with the first season of Yes being sort of at the tail end of COVID, however we define that. But I hadn't done that in my own area really ever. And so it was that push to get me to, drive just down the road, honestly. But I spent pretty much the whole day. I went out and I got a library card locally, which I hadn't done yet. And then went to a couple of different small shops, one locally owned bookstore, went and found, a place to get, I think it was like a strawberry lemonade or something, different things that were local to me that I hadn't explored before. And there's no good reason, right? It's like, if I go out of town, I spend all this, these resources to do this, but yet here I am sitting in my own home and it's right there and I'm not doing it. So that's probably my favorite one is, and I still like those little shops and stuff are near and dear to me now, and from that day. So.
Oh my goodness. I love that.
Love this. Can I just say too, as we're hearing everybody's stories, it is striking to me, and I'm sure a lot of the people who are watching this who have been part of season of Yes are like, oh, I remember when you shared that. And there's this neat thing that happens when, like, not only have you all been saying yes, but like we've kind of been vicariously saying yes through you. And I feel like that's part of one of the things I love about this time is that, like, I just got all the things that you learned, I learned too. And the ways that you said yes, like, inspired me. And it's like just like this contagious ball of yes. Like, it was so good. Like, I literally remember each one of your posts. Like, that's wild. But it's because we experienced it together.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so true, Court. And it's inspiring. Yeah.
It really is. Like, I remember like those sunset pics, like literally, like I'm like, do I get more sunset pics this upcoming season of Yes? Because I remember seeing those and being like, oh, that's so beautiful. Like, wow. Like, and finding it's like you're getting to stop and pause with each other throughout this whole entire process and take note. But I've also appreciated hearing how you guys were like, it's just something, it didn't seem like this grand old thing, but it was just like this finding the magic in
Yeah.
the everyday
Yeah.
moments and being able to do that. That's encouraging. Oh my god, y'all. Okay. So I'm curious to know from Season of Yes, and saying yes, what have you learned about yourself in the process of saying yes more often? Who? Ebony, we're gonna start with you.
Okay. Okay. So what have I learned about myself in the process? I've learned that yes is not usually my default. No is my default. No is my default answer, because no is usually easier, and it takes a little more intentionality, a little more energy sometimes to say yes. And so I have found that it's important for me to make space, and to allow myself to do things that give me in the energy to say yes, because that self-care component, that component of making space and making room for it is important, because if I don't do that with intention, then it won't happen. I'll default to my no, because the no is usually what's going to keep me in my comfort zone. It's going to keep me from not having to expend some of that energy that I need to be able to say yes. So I think what I learned is that yes is not my default. And if I want to say yes more, then I'm going to have to do it on purpose. So that's one thing. I also felt like saying yes boosted my confidence, because the yeses that I did, I think, helped me to move more in line with my own values, and doing some of that work and moving me closer to making decisions and exhibiting behaviors that feel more authentic to who I am. And so I think saying yes helped boost my confidence as well. So I think those will probably be the two things that I've learned about myself in relation to saying yes.
Oh, I love that. And Ebony, the one thing that I got when you were doing Season of Yes and posting last year,
Mhm.
I've seen you do a lot of self-care. You got like you went and got a massage. You went, and
Yeah.
took care of, you went out in nature. You're like, I just did this little 30-minute walk by the lake, and it was like nice. Can you speak a little bit to how Season of Yes helped you with taking care of yourself and what you got back from that?
Yes, because I think without Season of Yes, I autopilot. It's like I'm getting up in the morning, I'm going to get ready for work, I'm going to do this and do all those things that are kind of like the maintenance of your life. And a lot of times the self-care for me, and I don't know if that is the same experience for other people, but for me that usually falls down to the lower part of my list. And so Season of Yes helped me to be intentional about putting that back at the top of my list, and gave me an opportunity to put myself first. And then it made all the other things that I have to do for other people, doing my job, family, all those kind of things. It made it easier just because I was starting to prioritize my own self-care and making sure that I had the energy, and had the mental capacity to be able to do all the things that I needed to do. And I don't think I would have been as intentional about doing that if I wasn't engaged in Season of Yes. I think it helped me to prioritize myself, which is something that I just naturally did not do. I usually prioritize everybody else. I think someone else had already spoke to that. Just kind of being, I'm a pretty empathetic person, a pretty caring person. I have a job that lends to being, that's a service driven job. So that is my default. Is like, what does everybody need? What do I need to do for this person? What do I need to do for this person? And then not taking the time to doing those things for myself, and then kind of operating in some burnout. And so it's just really important for me to take care of myself first, so that I can be there for other people. And I feel like Season of Yes helped me prioritize that.
Oh, I love that. You spoke so much. Yeah, that was just like greatness.
I know you're resonating with everyone's resonating with what you're saying.
I'm like, yes, speaking to
So
myself.
relatable. Yeah.
It was fun, and it made it fun. And I love and I'll say one more thing, in regards to like the bingo card. Like usually I'm pretty competitive. And so when I'm not feeling like I'm going to win, because you're competing against yourself trying to get that card done, usually I would just quit and give up, because I was like so behind, and the due date was coming. And I had to tell myself, like, what is the real purpose and why you're doing this? Are you trying to just fill up this bingo card? Or are you really trying to get something out of this? And kind of having to reorient myself and stop. I love the gamification of it because it's fun, but also reminding myself that you're getting something else from it besides it just being this bingo card, and I had to bring myself back, and like, you can keep going, you can keep doing it even after the date is over. If you want to fill your bingo card up and the date is done, do it for yourself. And that's something that I regret not doing last year. I kind of stopped once the deadline came, and I already committed to myself. I'm like, even if I don't finish it by the deadline, I'm going to finish every single challenge this year. Even if it takes me to the end of the year, I'm going to finish it. So yeah, I definitely I love the game part of it, but you have to remember that you're trying to get something out of it for your life, and just to keep that in mind as well when you're trying to fill in those spaces.
Yeah, I love that. Since you mentioned that, Court, can you talk a little bit about the bingo card and the gamification?
I mean, Ebony, I just love you so much. And like, you
I
just,
love you too.
oh, okay. So, right, the bingo card. One of the, I mean, throughout Season of Yes, we do so many fun things to gamify and just give us that extra push we might need to do something for ourselves, because sometimes we just need that extra oomph. But I think Ebony just like spoke to it perfectly. It's about figuring out with all of these yeses, not just like, okay, I said yes to this, check mark, or like with our goals, check mark, right? But like, what do I actually need? And going through each of those challenges, and the bingo card then is another way to do that, is to look and say, okay, well, there's a say yes to whatever this week's challenge is, but what does that look like for me? And so in the process of doing things for ourselves and the life we want to live, which also includes doing things for others too, we get that little extra reward. And last year, there are rewards and prizes throughout ClubMakse all the time, but Season of Yes is like, I mean, you get a prize, everybody gets, it's amazing. But Ebony, I love that you were like, but I wanted to get, like, it was for getting something out for me. Like, that's what all this, the goal setting, it's all about that. But we're going to throw some prizes in too. So yes, I will say we're going to have a bingo card again this year. And we're going to have a lot of ways that you can make Season of Yes just really intentional and about yourself and your nostalgia. So, oh y'all, it's going to be so good.
Love that. And I went and grabbed one of Ebony's Season of Yes posts just so y'all can see a little bit of this bingo card here. But it was like a bingo card and all the different ways that you were able to say yes. And this was Ebony when she shared about saying yes to something new this week. But I loved how you kept progress of it throughout Season of Yes. And it's just a lot of fun when you're able to gamify something. It's really cool. Mackenzie, can you let us know what you have learned about yourself in the process of saying yes?
Yes. Okay. So I came up with 2 answers for this. The first one was really about being present in the moment. So I think doing these challenges requires you to kind of think about, why am I doing this? What's the purpose behind it? What am I hoping to gain from it? And doing that, unlike, I don't know, putting my dishes away or something, makes me put my phone down and stop looking at it and just be in the moment that I'm, in right then. And I've noticed that as recently as March, I actually took a short trip to visit a friend, and we had dinner one night, and I was like, you know what? I didn't pull my phone out that entire dinner, and we were there for like several hours. And that has become more and more the norm for me. And I've got the Apple Watch, I've got like all the notifications buzzing. But when it happens, I'll look down and it's like, nope, I want to do this thing that I'm here doing right now. The other stuff can wait, I'll get back to people or whatever. The other thing that, and the photos during that you've been showing kind of go to this, but I turned my workbook into like basically a memory keeping book. And so I used all kinds of supplies and stickers and
it's stuff. So beautiful.
Keep showing us.
Like, just keep showing.
It was one of my favorite things, was just documenting all of it. And I can't tell you, like, I hadn't looked at this up until when I was asked to join this call. And I was like, oh yeah, like, let me go look at that. And it brought so much joy into my heart, looking back at all of the moments and remembering the things that I did. And yeah, it was, I love memory keeping. having photos and ephemera and things to, make me reflect back on what I did really helps me like relive that moment and be excited and happy about the moment. So yeah, that's my big like tip is, I had this workbook printed at, I think like Staples and bound, and it's now my, like memorabilia from Season of Yes. So I love it.
Mackenzie, I'm so glad you showed that because we don't talk about this a lot, like in our marketing, but everybody who's in Season of Yes gets a workbook, and it is there to kind of help, walk you through the different weekly challenges. We create a path that we all do together, or you can like choose your own adventure depending on your resources and energy and timing and all that stuff. But there's so many different ways that you can engage with the workbook throughout Season of Yes. And that's a beautiful example, Mackenzie. I haven't seen it all put together like that. So you guys also get a workbook for the whole quarter, which is really fun.
Oh, I love that. Andrea, what about you? I'm gonna have you unmute yourself for us.
I cheated and I already kind of gave away my answer for this one, but really what I learned about myself is just the more I'm saying yes, the more joy that is in my life, and it compounds too. If I say yes early in the morning, I say yes to more things for myself. I on my calendar for work, I have go for a walk, 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the afternoon. And I'm really good at just hitting those notifications and having it go away. But during Season of Yes, I've always been really good about like, okay, it says I should go for a walk, so I'm going to go for a walk. And then I would do something else for myself. So like, it was just a really good like butterfly effect. And then the other thing that I already talked about too is that when I'm doing stuff like this for myself, that I really that grounds me, that makes me feel calm and like in my own body. I learn that I'm learning more about myself because there's been some like many years together where I don't really know who I am. And as I'm saying yes, I'm figuring out who I am too. So I know, more about myself, which sounds so silly because I'm in my own head. But I think that part is just so great because, just with ClubMakse, even outside of Season of Yes, like I know what my values are now. Like I've written them down, and we always do that stuff. So that's just so great. But I think the best part is just like I realize in myself, I'm smiling more, I'm laughing more, I'm doing more like exercise. My steps are always higher when it's Season of Yes, just because, I'm out doing stuff. I'm living life instead of just waiting for life to come at me. So it just feels like I'm in control, which I'm really trying to make sure that goes for the rest of the year. And I love what Ale said. I don't know if you put that up on the screen yet, but she said she prints off that bingo card every quarter.
Yes.
That is amazing. Why are we not all doing that? And then
I know. I've never thought about that. That's a great idea.
I love it.
I love
We
that
need to
too.
put a bingo card in the planner.
Yes.
Or a free download.
A free download, make a wild card.
Yeah.
All the things are coming to my head now. Yes.
I'm all for it.
Okay, Andrea, I'm curious if you could talk a little, because you also made some, not just in finding the magic in the everyday moments, but you also made some big changes. Like you did stuff with your hair. You made an addition to your family. Can you talk a little bit about some of the big things that you also did in Season of Yes?
So very similar. Sierra hasn't talked about this yet in this live, but very similar to Sierra. In 2023, I really went all out on my yeses. I kind of thought that they had to be really big things with huge, huge impacts. So you can kind of see in the middle that little tiger. After 15 years of being out of college, I signed up to go back to school. And I had never done online college before, but I went back for project management certification. And it's not part of my career path whatsoever, but it's just something I wanted to learn a little bit more about. And I mean, it was a huge step. I mean, I'd never done online school before. It was a completely different college than the one that I graduated from. And the information was just so different, but it was like, I was terrified so terrified because I was like, what if I can't do this? What if I can't make the time, having 2 jobs and then having my children and, all this other stuff. But I fit it in and it was so cool. And then the other thing, I don't know why I was so scared about this, but like my hair ever since I met my husband has been long like this. And in 2023, I was like, I'm chopping it. I'm chopping it right up at the top. You can see I took like 9 inches off. And oh my gosh, when I was done, I sat in the car and was like, oh, I love it. It's so great. No, I grew it out again because it's really easy to be able to just put my hair in a ponytail when it's this length. But that was so fun. And I really I don't know. I felt really, really, I don't know what the word is. Free,
Free?
fresh. I don't know. Something
Free.
like that. Um,
All the
so,
above.
and then 2024, I took it slower. I was like, my Yeses are going to be going for walks. And I'm just going to tell myself I have to go for 10 minutes. If I go for 30 minutes, awesome. If I go for 10 minutes, better than sitting in my chair. I said yes to unplugging for 5 to 10 minutes a day and just sitting down and just like calming myself and letting my blood pressure, go down. I had so many for 2024. Darian, I sent you this huge list of everything I did. And okay, I've got my season of yes books too. Mine are much smaller than Mackenzie's, but oh my gosh, Mackenzie's, yours are just gorgeous. So I've got my 2025 already done. And I mean, I know everything in advance, so I won't open that one. I have my 2024 and my 2023. And so it's really cool. Here's I went back to college. And so I've got the yellow and the purple for LSU. And I just wrote a little bit about why it was important to me. I went to a book club in 2023. I was just scared to go be around people that I've never met before, especially going by myself. And so that was a really cool yes to do. And then 2024, I did all the things. So I did how this is a blank page, which is okay. But I printed everything out and that made it easier so I didn't have to write everything down.
Yes. So many ideas. So many ideas.
You know what, Andrea, I'm so glad you brought up the difference between 23 and 24 because I want to talk about that for a second because I also did that. It was the first season of yes. I already told you guys the reason why I was like, this is something I want to do. So I'm just going to bring it to ClubMakse. And I did the same thing. And I went so hard. They were so big that I was exhausted after 6 weeks. And I mean, I crashed so hard. And I realized, I was like, okay, lesson learned. And that's what we do, you guys. We learn as we go through stuff. And I'm like, okay, 2024 is going to be totally different. And I purposely made sure that they were all really small. And this year is going to be a little bit of a mix of both, but there's no right way to do it. And so if you're like, oh, that sounds fun, but I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm busy, whatever that is, sure, you can do big stuff, but you can also just make it be something where you're investing in yourself one yes at a time, one little tiny little thing that, as you've heard everybody's stories, is that it just gets you into that mindset. It primes the pump for you to stop before you say no to something, before you shut down life or shut down an invitation or shut down showing up for yourself or for in your life in some way. It forces you to pause and ask yourself well, wait, do I want to say yes to this? And I don't know about you guys. I would love to know when you do default, you pause and you choose the yes. Do you notice it shifting your life or it being different than how you would normally respond in other times?
For me, yes. When I say yes to things and again, force myself to get out of the house, get out of my introvert little circle, I end up I'm so much happier. I'm just a happier person. I have, and I mean, as I spoke to, I'm all about memory keeping, looking through photos. And, so some of those times when I am more down and, stuck at home or whatever the situation may be, I can always go back and look through the things that I've done. And it makes me proud of myself. It makes me remember the things that I've done. And it just brings back that warmness in your heart of, you know, I've gotten out there and I've done this. So even if right now maybe I'm down and I don't feel like I can do that, like I have done it in the past and I will do it again in the future.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I noticed for me, what it's done the most is brought joy back into my life.
Yes.
And those were the things that I was saying no to the quickest, because I would say I don't have time. I would default to introvert. I'd rather go home and get in bed and do my alone thing versus saying yes to the date or yes to the event or yes to the vacation or trip or the walk around the block. And I'm like, no, wait, I stopped defaulting to no all the time. And by saying yes, I had way more joy, way more joy.
Yes.
My joy typically comes after I do the yes. So usually when I say yeah, because for me, as someone who suffers with a bit of anxiety, usually the big yeses for me are me saying yes to something that has been something that I've wanted to do for a while and didn't do it because of the anxiety. So when I say the yes, the anxiety kind of kicks in because it's kind of like, oh, are you really going to do this? And then once I do it, the confidence and the joy that comes from overcoming that anxiety and just going ahead and doing it and feeling like it's moving me closer to being the person that I want to be and the person that I'm becoming. I think it's more about, and sometimes the joy comes not just from doing the thing, but it comes from being who I am or who I'm becoming. So I think it's more about the personal development for me than anything.
Oh my
Beautiful. I love
gosh,
that.
Ebony, again, like, and Mackenzie, when you said, like, I've done it in the past and I am going to do it in the future, like, y'all, we're rewriting the narratives of who we are. Because how often do we say, oh, I've never done that. I'm not the kind of person who does insert yes here, right? And then we do it. And now all of a sudden we are. And
Yes.
so that's like, you're right, exactly. You are not just who you will be someday, but like who you have now decided you are now. That's so stinking powerful to be
Mhm.
able to say that, like, this is me and I have done this.
It's
I
very powerful to make choices that are aligned with your values as opposed to making choices that align with staying in your comfort zone or trying to orchestrate the things that you don't want to happen as opposed to trying to make the things you want to happen and just operating out of fear. And so I found that my most joyous moments have been my triumphant moments when I've been able to triumph over some of those fears. So I know, and this was a huge yes thing being on this live because this was after I said yes, I was like, oh my God, are you really going to do this? And this was scary for me, but I feel much more comfortable now, and I'm very proud that I said yes to this. But yeah, this was very much out of my comfort zone, and so I'm just happy to be here and be able to share. But yeah, this was definitely a win as well for me. So this was a big yes for me.
I'm so glad you said yes.
Like one of those goosebump goals that we always talk about.
Mhm.
Like those goosebump goals are things that like terrify you, but also like excite you at the same time. But once you do them, you're like, oh my gosh, I did that. I mean, Ebony, I know exactly what you're talking about. The first time that I talked in front of ClubMakse, I was terrified. Like I'm not a person that goes and talks in front of people. And now I say, Andrea, you're a person that talks in front of people. And if I would have showed myself any of these videos and said, that's you, look at what you did, look what you can do. Like, I don't know if I would have believed myself 2 years ago, but we just have to let ourselves be uncomfortable. And sometimes those are like the most joyful things that can come from saying yes.
Yes. I love y'all. Y'all are so good. It's so good. Last question as we get ready to wrap this up a little bit is, I have other questions, but I'm like, okay, what's the most important one that I want you? Okay. What would you say to someone who is struggling to give themselves permission to say yes?
That's a good one. Do you want me to go first?
Go first, Ebony.
I think it would be important to get curious about why. I think depending on who you are, your personality, what the thing is you're struggling with, a lot of times if you don't know why you are avoiding the yes, then it's hard for you to be able to kind of overcome whatever obstacle it is. Is it a fear? Is it you feel like you don't deserve the good thing that's on the other side of that yes? So is it a more of an issue of how you feel about yourself? Is it that you feel like you don't have the resources? So I think just getting curious without judgment, because I think we can get very judgmental and be very hard on ourselves unnecessarily. So getting curious and being open to what the answers are, I think is super important. And then once you find out why you're maybe avoiding saying yes or why you've been saying no, then trying to deal with what that issue is. If it's a fear, how do you get support around that? If it's not feeling good enough, how do you boost your self-confidence? If you feel like you don't have the energy to say yes, what are some things that you can do to get the energy that you need to be able to move forward in that area? But getting curious about why it's difficult for you to say yes is probably the advice that I would give someone who is struggling.
Yes. All right. What about you, Mackenzie? What advice would you give someone?
So the ClubMakse community is frankly one of the best on the internet that I've ever been in. Just so supportive and nurturing and non-judgmental. And so I think that if I knew someone was struggling, I would say join Season of Yes and lean into the community. Find somebody who there's going to be somebody in there. There's like 700 people or more in ClubMakse. There's going to be somebody else in there who has the same feelings that you do or has had it in the past. And the other thing that I've done throughout, and it kind of ebbs and flows depending on seasons of life, but is an accountability partner. So somebody else who is like, yeah, I want to be fully invested. Maybe they're also scared, but pair up with that person and plan out your yeses and then check back in and, hey, how did it go? Did you do it this week? If you didn't, that's okay, but why didn't you do it? So I think beyond what Ebony said in terms of, figuring out why, if you can get yourself past that why, and you're like, I think I want to do it, I think you'll find that the community is there, like with absolutely open arms, just ready to welcome you and cheer you along during the entire process.
Yeah. I mean, do I even have to say anything there? That was perfect. Both of oh my goodness. I really tried hard not to start crying when you guys were talking about all the stuff and just how worthy we all are. That was when Darian sent these questions through. I just said, you deserve it. You are worthy of saying yes to yourself. You're worthy of living your very best life. This is the only one we get. And sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves and make ourselves miserable for no reason at all. And just having the season of yes is so amazing because we're saying yes to ourselves, but we also have this community. And like Mackenzie said, I will start crying. I think Sarah has a video of me telling her in the first Go Wild that I went to, I read this email that I sent to her, and oh my gosh, the community that Sierra has built, it's like a piece of heaven on earth. Everybody is there to support each other, and we're all going through so many different things in life, but we're all trying to go the same direction and grow, and we're all worth it. And you should say yes to yourself. And if you don't think that you're there quite yet, some of the best things that we have in the Moxie Life planners, do your affirmations. Affirmations, I thought were so silly when I first started them. When I saw Sarah's Instagram, and I looked at it, I'm like, I think I can do this. And so I started saying them, and I would say it out loud in the mirror. And I did it every day. And I was like, I'm just going to see if this works. And they work. I mean, it's just, I can't say enough. I am so thankful that I found this community and Sierra. And I if you go into the YouTube, I've got a little YouTube thing about sorry, I didn't do a very good heart. I have a YouTube thing that they posted of me just saying like what ClubMakse's meant to me, and it's like 100% from my heart, 100% real. I was terrified to do the video 2 years ago, but I did it. And I I don't know what my life would be like without this. So, and now I know I'm worthy, and now I know it's important, and I get to help get other people excited about themselves and saying yes to themselves and knowing that they're worthy. So, like, I just feel like this is exactly where I needed to be at this exact point in my life. And I want everyone to get that feeling.
Yes.
Sorry,
I'm
was
so
that too
happy for
snappy?
you.
No, it wasn't too
Not.
sappy. That was awesome. No,
Hey.
I think we all kind of feel the same way. I know for me, I joined ClubMakse at a time where my two very best friends moved. We all lived in the same city for our whole lives, and they both moved out of Milwaukee within 6 months of each other. And I was, when I say devastated, like cry, 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 cry. And some of the brightest spots I had in that first 6 to 12 months when they left were coming home and getting online for club and seeing your faces and feeling like I really knew you in person. It was just it when you anybody who is a social network person or people who are on the internet a lot knows what the internet can be like and what some of those spaces can be like, and being in a genuine space where people genuinely want to see you do well, where people are there to encourage you and give you solid advice, and the consistency and the excellence and the quality of the things that you get out of club is just it's unmatched. And I do feel very blessed and very lucky to be a part of this community. And that's why no matter how much apprehension I had to doing this live, I knew that my yes came right away, because it was something that I felt almost responsible to do, because I really do want people to understand that if you put in the effort, if you say the yes, if you do the things, even if you're just getting on the lives and just watching and doing that passive learning, just being a part of the community, you will see a difference in your life. There has definitely been a difference in how I think about myself and how I think about my life and my goals. And I just I also don't know where I would be without this community. It has been uh, a very bright spot in my life. So I'm very much appreciative to all the work and all the things that you do to make this community what it is, because it's just it shows how much you truly care about the community, all the love and the excellence that you put forth for us. So we really do appreciate it, and we thank you for that.
Y'all, Sierra, you gotta mute yourself. I got you. Let me. Okay, there you go.
You guys are so
I didn't mean
amazing.
to make you cry. I was totally we were not trying to make you cry, but we do appreciate you, and we want you to know that.
It's oh gosh, when we first launched ClubMakse, it was only supposed to be a 6-month program, and then we closed it up, and everyone's like, "What are you doing? No, bring it back!" And so that's how ClubMakse 2.0 started, and that's what we have going right now. And it's morphed and changed, but it's grown. And this started off as a passion and truly a calling. A need that I felt like I needed to have in this world. But I absolutely could not do it without this amazing team and having everybody that is here that creates the space, that loves, that helps support and create this safety and the vulnerability and the wisdom that exists. I mean, it's so amazing. Courtney, Darian, Andrea, Mackenzie's on, one of our affiliates. Like, I mean, it takes all of us to create the magic that we have together. And I just feel so honored to share this space with you guys for such a long period of time. I mean, it's just really special. Thank you for sharing your guys' story. It means a lot. Yeah.
Yes, I'm so grateful that y'all said yes.
And
yes.
well, I was going to say, as we're like iterating and as we grow, one of the new things that is coming up, and one of the really exciting parts of this season of Yes, is this actually going to be kind of the first big hurrah that we're going to have on our new app. So it's going to be available on Google and Android. Sorry, not Google, Android and Apple. And it is going to be so good, you guys. We're so excited. Court has been managing it. We've been working on just making it be so incredibly good. But it's going to be our exclusive home for ClubMakse. Season of Yes is going to kick it off. But imagine everything that has been good for those of you who are in club. It's going to be even that much better. There's so many different ways for us to connect with each other. Court, come up here.
Oh, you guys. I feel like it's hard to say all the things I want to say because part of it is you really just do have to see this. But one of the things that obviously, we take so seriously is the importance of community, and that community is literally changing the world. And so that mentality into our app is really just, like Sierra said, going to take us to the next level of not only being able to kind of focus on our goals and this life that we want to live and living differently, but also doing it together. And so I think, the Sierra and the team work to create and to foster this experience, but really it's all y'all doing this work together and committing to making it the place that it is and making it this like unicorn of a space online where we can have so many people from literally all over the world come together. And so the app is going to take that, and it really is. It's just going to like explode it into like a million confetti streams. I don't want to give like all the details away, but
I know.
but just
I was like,
I'm trying to like, what can I say? It's going to allow us to do the things that we want to do in ClubMakse with community. It's going to allow us to do all the things we're dreaming of. So all of those things, you're like, wouldn't it be cool? We're moving towards that, guys.
Yeah,
like it's we're going.
I
Yeah.
love.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited about the app. I already downloaded it on my phone.
And it's gorgeous. And y'all, you already also know how intentional Sierra is about like just the quality and aesthetics and everything. Know from behind the scenes that just the blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into this app, it's gonna show on July 1st.
I saw someone comment volunteering to be a beta tester, so I wanted to throw my name in the hat too. Like if you need a beta tester, I'm down. I will test it. I will let you know if there's any bugs, and I'll keep it to myself. So if you need someone, let me know.
Yeah, and so I know this is going to be a question because people are probably going to go, it's in the App Store right now. You won't be able to log in. It's coming July 1st. I know that's a housekeeping question is probably going to pop up. So we won't be able to come in until July 1st. But yeah, we're like really excited. But we will need those beta testers. So Ebony will be in your inbox.
Oh,
That July 1st is going to take forever to get here.
I know.
I don't want to wish summer fast, but
I was sad, but I'm like, I can wait. I can wait. But I downloaded it right away, and then I saw Sarah post like someone saw it. So I'm gonna post this. I'm like, oh my god, was that a person that she saw downloaded it? I'm like, oh okay, I don't know. But then I looked. I said it was somebody else who saw it. But yeah.
Listen, the moment I think I saw that within 3 minutes that she posted it. For those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about, I love to spill beans, which is telling the secrets of stuff that's to come. And before I had a team, I would just be on here like, guess what we're doing, guys? And like finally Chrissy came on board. She's like, babe, you can't be telling people, especially our competitors, like people are listening. And I'm like, okay, fine. So she's the beans please, and I'm the beans spiller. And it's this whole shtick that we have. So anyway, I could not wait to spill the beans about the app, but we only had the Apple app approved. We were waiting for the Android. So they're like, don't say anything until that one's completely done. Well, somebody had posted in Club that they were like, I saw the app. And I'm like, okay, that's it. It's 11 o'clock at night on, I think, a Friday. 11 p.m. Within 3 minutes, I saw it. And I'm like, that's it. That's my call. I'm spilling beans. So you guys, any chance I get to tell you guys all the secrets, I am on it. I go rogue.
And the next morning, all of a sudden, I get on Facebook and I'm like texting Chrissy, what happened? What did I miss?
That's so funny. And so on brand. I love it.
So on brand.
There was a comment that I want to highlight a little bit because there's also a part of Season of Yes that we have not talked about a little bit, and that's how we get ready and prep for our season of life within Season of Yes. So Alex has said, I absolutely have to prep for Season of Yes or else it ceased to exist. I love the idea of figuring out the reason behind hesitating as part of that prep. Courtney, can you talk a little bit about how we have like a prep built into Season of Yes so everyone can move throughout Season of Yes successfully?
Yeah. So in addition to the workbook that's going to guide us through every aspect of the season. We also have a guided session that's available then on replay if you can't make it live, where we go through the ways that you can plan for this next quarter with Season of Yes in mind. So if you're in club, the last Saturday of the month, we have a quarterly planning session that looks at the next quarter. But then within Season of Yes, we also have a special session so that we can look at all of these things we want to say yes to and figure out how are we going to do it in a way that's intentional to us and in a way that is sustainable. So we got you covered because there's a lot of excitement, and we're working on making it intentional and holistic and sustainable. So you're good.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. I love that. All right. What else? Before we head out, I just want to let you know, if y'all really like Mackenzie's flip through of her Season of Yes book, I'm going to put a link to the video where she walks through her entire scrapbook and explains her Season of Yes and highlights her memories. I'm going to put that in the comments now, and I'm also going to put it in the description box so you have it. I'm also going to put a link if you're like, all right, I'm ready. How do I get signed up? I'm also going to post a link here for you and in the description box for you to sign up for Season of Yes today. Whether you're watching it today or 2 weeks from now or in the future, you can sign up for Season of Yes and sign up for ClubMakse and join us, because we would love to have you. This is such a special time for us. And as you heard it from not just us, but our community tonight, this is just a time to say yes to yourself. But before we roll out, I want every one of us to say, I want you to tell me what you are excited to say yes to. Think about what you are excited to say yes to. Comments, Clubbies, Moxie fam, you let me know in the comments, what are you looking forward to saying yes to? And when you got it, let me know. Just unmute yourself and let me know.
I'm looking forward to connecting with Clubbies and their stories in lots of exciting ways that are yet to be announced.
I'm so excited. I'm excited about that too. But I'm really excited. I have a really strong nature focus for this Season of Yes. And so I'm really looking forward to that, because I'm spending the summer in a really beautiful space. And I'm like, I need to get out in nature more. So hikes and sunsets and sunrises, which is not a thing for me. I'm not a morning person. But I've been waking up early here because the sun comes out in Costa Rica around 4:30 in the morning. And so I'm like, maybe I will become a sunrise person. Andrea, you and I can post our photos there in club. I'll meet you there.
I am excited to say yes to dancing in the kitchen weekly. Sierra made such an awesome mixtape on Spotify, and I listened to it all weekend while I was getting so many things done in our house, and I got so much stuff done, and just the memories coming back and flooding back from all of those songs. It was just amazing. So dancing in the kitchen just brings me so much joy. I feel so silly, but that silliness like makes me happier for some reason. I don't know. It's so good.
Andrea, I love that you said that. As all of you were talking, and Court, I know that this will resonate with you too, because it was kind of how we wrapped up last year's Season of Yes. But what I hear is, by saying yes in these little micro moments of our lives, it's like we're romanticizing our life. We're romanticizing cleaning, cooking, going for that walk, like how you were talking about how you notice the bunny or the flowers. Like that is, it's like a rom-com for your own personal experience in this world, and it really does feel that way. I get very reflective around all of this with my own process, but also having the amazing, beautiful opportunity of watching you guys. But I'm like, man, where did we lose that magic? And why? And I think of that often as we, facilitate and do a lot of the trainings or create the programs that we do for people that really just create spaces to become that person that we're meant to be, or that we really truly desire to be. And like I said, before someone or the world told you who you're supposed to be or should be. And I just think like this season of Yes, I'm so excited because there's so much fun in the being laced in nostalgia because it's got the memories and it brings back all these really good warm feelings. And but it also is inviting us to make the little parts of our lives better. I don't know, more romantic with yourself. And you don't need a partner, no partner necessary, which is even better. Like, I just think it's such a special time. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that.
And I'll just say too, again, I'm not meaning to like vague book everything, but we will be sharing information about all of the yeses and the themes coming up. But I really do think that this quarter is going to be some of the most impactful themes that we've talked about, that they're just not just what we need right now, but I think moving forward into 2026 and beyond, what we're going to be talking about this quarter is very impactful, and I think will resonate, I'm going to say, with everybody in club in some capacity. I really do. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm
Evan,
looking
what are
forward
you?
to just- I'm sorry.
You go for it.
No, I'm looking forward to just having fun without having any other goal but it just being fun. Like just being able to tap into the theme of nostalgia. I'm like really excited about just kind of going back and reading old journals and watching old movies and listening to the old songs. I think it helps you to remember how you were, like you said, at a time when you didn't have all of those voices and all those experiences that were leading you away from who you really are, and tapping back into that old you. And so I'm excited about what that looks like and just having fun and enjoying some purposeful fun. So I'm excited. I love the nostalgia thing. I was so excited when I saw those visuals. I cannot wait. I'm super excited.
I know. I'm like, movie nights. How are we going to choose what movie to watch? I'm like, can we have 20 movie nights? Coolers. I was like thinking of Breakfast Club, Back to the Future.
Breakfast Club is good. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'll send you my 80s movie playlist. I think I have at least 20 movies on there. Somebody posted about the Goonies. Was that you?
That was me. Oh yeah. It was just the 40th anniversary. Is that wild?
I love Goonies. That's a good one.
My
too.
Goodness. You know what I was just thinking as we were talking? I was thinking about, do you remember the episode of Friends where Phoebe is like running just in a way that makes her like so joyful, like a kid? And everyone's like, you shouldn't be running like that. I'm going to go do that. I'm just going to go like skip or like just who cares? Who cares?
I know exactly what episode you're talking about. That's hilarious.
Oh my God. So good. So good.
I love that. And Mackenzie, what are you excited to say yes to?
I'm excited about the nostalgia aspect. I have some totes in the garage right now that have some of my like childhood photos in them. And actually one of our affiliates kind of like popped a photo of herself and when she was young and was like, hey, could this be part of the nostalgia? Like, do we want to recreate some photos and stuff? Ooh. So I'm excited about that. And like, maybe leaning into go through those totes, scan some of them, get them, in a better place before they, I don't know, melt or whatever is going to happen to them in the garage. So I'm really excited about the nostalgia perspective.
Yeah,
I love the idea of recreating a picture. That's so cool.
That would be a good
challenge. That would be a good challenge.
Oh, I'm excited.
We'll be doing it.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Andrea, Ebony, and Mackenzie, for joining us here tonight and sharing your stories with us and your heart. We are not just grateful to have you in ClubMakse, but we're just grateful that you are just who you are and you just shining your light, not just within club, but with our whole entire community. We really appreciate you. Y'all, this was everything my soul needed. I'm just like, I don't want it to end. I'm just like, can we just stay here and talk? Like, I love seeing how y'all have been just saying yes. And I'm so excited to say yes with y'all in this next season of Yes. And I hope that you decide to join us, whether you're here live for the first time or catching the replay of this. I look forward to seeing you for our season of Yes. And we will see y'all next time.
Love you guys.
Love you.